morning, everybody. 11:45 Eastern Standard Time in the Northeast New England where the snow is coming down. Welcome to the North American Sports Report. I'm Billy DiNapoli. And we are getting ready for an exciting weekend of NFL playoff action. We will also cap things off on Monday night with the national championship between the Miami Hurricanes and the Indiana Hoosiers. That spread now has bloated to 8.5 points. Indiana, an 8.5 point favorite. Kind of reminds me when the New England Patriots were 9.5 point favorites over the Giants in the Super Bowl, 18-1, as many of you remember. Anyway, today at 4:30, we have the Buffalo Bills heading to Denver to play the top-seeded Denver Broncos and Bo Nix, Coach Sean Payton. The Broncos are a 1.5 point favorite in this game. Josh Allen, he was Superman last week. He was Superman last week in their victory over Jacksonville, and he had to be. Jags played him tough in the 27-24 victory for Buffalo. He will have to be even more of a superhero in today's game as Gabe Davis is now out. They have three more. They only have three healthy wide receivers. Granted, when Keon Coleman's your best wideout, and actually Shakir is their most efficient pass catcher on their roster, they're pretty much the only two healthy guys remaining. They're pretty much the only two healthy guys remaining as the Bills have more injuries to deal with. You know what? We're going to get the Buffalo Bills injury report because, listen, the Broncos are great against the run. We know this. Okay, so if they're able to slow James Cook, it's going to be even a bigger uphill climb for the Bills. But again, I have a hard time betting against Josh Allen. On top of that, well, the Broncos will have safety Jordan Poyer out. I'm sorry. On top of the wide receivers out, the Buffalo Bills, I misspoke, will have Jordan Poyer, their starting safety, and their corner, Max Hairston. Jordan Poyer is a stud for them. He's their best defensive back. Maxwell Hairston will also be out of the game. Curtis Samuel, probably not going to play, listed as doubtful. And we know about Gabe Davis is not going to play. That's two more wide receivers out of the mix. That's pretty much it. So they're down two more wideouts. Oh, Shivers, too. Three more. They have three injured wide receivers. Shivers, Samuel, and Davis. And they're also going to be without their starting safety, Poyer, which is significant, and their corner Maxwell Hairston. So a banged-up Denver team where basically the Broncos are fairly healthy, and of course, the Broncos have had the week off. Let's see here. They might actually have to play. You're going to actually have to play DeMar Hamlin in this game. Wow. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just looking at their injury report. It's extensive. Okay, well, yeah, so there you go, right there. No Curtis Samuel, no Gabe Davis. And you're missing They only have 2 wide receivers listed here. I heard it was 3. So they're going to be down to 3 wide receivers, 3 healthy wide receivers. It's going to be heavy James Cook on the ground, and Josh's going to have to do it with his legs as well as his feet. But yet this game's still only a 1.5-point spread for Denver. Listen, it's so tough for me to bet against Josh Allen. My logic tells me I want to take Denver. I did pick in August when this show first went on the air. I picked on August 31st. I picked the Denver Broncos. I picked the Buffalo Bills and the Los Angeles Rams as my Super Bowl participants. I was sold on it early in the season. I'm not sold on it now. The 8 o'clock game tonight is the Niners and the Seahawks. The Seahawks are 7-point favorites. Speaking of a mash unit, we all know about the injuries on the Niners. All the defensive injuries. I mean, they're a mash unit on defense. I don't know how Robert Saleh has held that together. That guy should get a head coaching job again. The Jets were silly to let him go because without Warner and Bosa and even some of their backups are injured. The Niners have pieced it together. They've played without Ayuk, without Pearsall on offense. Pearsall is supposed to play. McCaffrey, you have. We know Kittle now is also out for the rest of the playoff and season with his Achilles injury. Brock Purdy's a gamer. His playoff record is stellar. I do like the Seahawks in this game. We're going to get to the picks in a bit. I do like the Seahawks to win the game outright. I'm not sure about the 7. We're going to get to that in a second. Tomorrow, so tonight's game times, we have 4:30. We have the Bills and Broncos in what's going to be a sensational game. Can Josh Allen, again, put on the Superman's cape and lead the undermanned Bills on offense to a victory? And apparently even on defense. I mean, apparently even on defense. That is a rough injury report. I mean, especially, Jordan Poyer might be their best defensive back. He might be their best defensive back. He might be their best defensive back. Well, let's see here. Sunday, 3 p.m. the action starts. So today we have 4:30 and 8 o'clock. Bills, Broncos, 4:30. Niners, Seahawks at 8. Tomorrow we have the Texans at the Patriots at 3 o'clock. And the Rams at the Bears at 6:30. 3 and a 6:30. The weather in Chicago is going to be not even fit for human beings and or animals to be outside. The wind chill, actually the temperature is supposed to be -9. That's before the wind chill. -9 degrees tomorrow in Chicago for this game. It's going to be like the Ice Bowl. Let's get an update on that. Let's get an update. Let's ask our little Google AI here. What is the weather in Chicago for tomorrow? Here we go. Okay, so tomorrow, I misspoke. Tomorrow's weather in Chicago, 9 degrees with a wind chill of -9. 9 degrees with a wind chill of -9. Right now it is 16 degrees in Chicago with a wind chill of -5. That is currently, right now. Tomorrow it will be 9 degrees with a wind chill of -9. That's what we're looking at. That's what the Los Angeles Rams indoor fast track team. Now, the Bears defense has been their weakness all year. The Bears are getting 4.5 points at home. Boy, oh boy. Again, on an even track, I would take the Rams. I would take the Rams, no question. These games are tough to call. All right, so that's our 4 games here. And the Texans and Patriots, we know that the Houston Texans have the best defense in the NFL. Them and the Denver Broncos. Okay, and I would think that Houston's probably 1 and Denver's number 2. I think statistically it might have shook out the other way around, but the Texans have a top-ranked defense. As a matter of fact, I think the Texans did finish the season as the number 1 ranked defense, and Denver was number 2. They went back and forth all year. And Philadelphia Eagles were right up there too. They were top 5, and they're no longer with us. But can the Patriots, who struggled at times in the first half with the Chargers defense last week, can they overcome this Texans defense and this pass rush? It'll be the best defense that Drake May has seen in his young career. Now, we know the Texans offense was horrible. I mean, C.J. Stroud fumbled 5 times last week. They lost 3 of them. He did have a nice touchdown throw in the game, that back shoulder throw that he made to Kirk, but they're also going to be without their best wide receiver, Miko. He's going to be out. So, can the Texans produce enough offense to win this game? Now, last week they had 3 defensive touchdowns to win the game. I mean, they only had to score 10 points on freaking offense last week to win the game. They got 3 defensive TDs. 2 in the fourth quarter. Pick sixes, the defense did it all. They got pressure on the quarterback. They put the quarterback on the ground. They were taking pick sixes to the house. They did it all. But that game was a 7-6 game late in the third quarter. They hung around, and their defense, dominant as it is, won the game for them. Now, that being said, will they have enough offense? The Patriots play good defense too. Houston is an indoor team, and again, maybe not quite as bad as Chicago, but elements will be a factor in New England. This is a night game. It's a 6:30. Correction. This is a thoroughly game. The Rams-Bears is a night game, which will make the weather in Chicago that much worse. It's a 3 o'clock start, but here I can tell you as I'm looking out the window watching the snow, the weather here in New England is brutal. They'll probably be playing with maybe some snow. It's going to be in the 20s. Will that affect Houston? That is an indoor team. So the Patriots are a 3-point favorite. We're going to get to that in a second as well. So we got the Texans-Patriots 3, Rams-Bears 6:30. That's how your Sunday shakes out. And as I said, you have the Bills-Broncos today at 4:30, and at 8 o'clock the Niners and the Seahawks. I'm going to tell you that I see a teaser that I like right off the bat here. I am taking the Bills, which will make them plus 7.5 instead of plus 1.5. And the Niners, plus 13. I'm taking the Bills and the Niners in a teaser. That is going to be my one play. I am also taking the Seahawks to win the game. I'm going to take Seattle. And we're putting our Saturday and Sundays together. I'm taking Seattle and the Patriots in a teaser. It'll make the Patriots plus 3 and Seattle minus 1. Taking Seattle and the Patriots in a teaser. I am also taking the under 40.5 in the Texans-Patriots. We are 73, 78, and 1. We had a rough week last week, 4 and 7. We gave you 11 plays last week. We did have Houston on Monday night, but we also had the Steelers plus 9.5 in a teaser. So we are 73, 78, and 1. We are 38, 29, and 2 in college. And that might be it for us in college. I don't know if I'm going to pick the Natty because you guys know how I am picking Miami. I get superstitious. The only 2 times I picked I did give you guys the whole Ohio State game. I gave you Ohio State, the Miami victory over Ohio State. I gave you the Canes plus 9.5. That was an easy one. That was a disrespectful line to Miami. Everybody thought they were going to get killed by Ohio State, sort of like everybody thinks they're going to get beat by Indiana. ESPN actually had it under their ticker that Indiana has a 69% chance to win the game. I'll tell you what though, Josh Pate, college football analyst, I love his podcast. He's got a bright mind. He is one of the few I heard that actually picked Miami to win outright. But maybe I'll pick the over-under in that game, but 38, 29, and 2. We've hit college at about 60% this year. A good year in college, not as much in the NFL. Again, 73, 78, and 1 in our college plays, which combines Vegas lines, prop bets, teasers, straight bets. We do that here. We don't just give out straight plays because in the world of DraftKings and FanDuel, which we fully endorse, these are the varieties. These are the variety of plays that gamblers utilize. And we always adhere to the Vegas lines, which are in line with DraftKings and FanDuel. So we have the under 40.5 in the Patriots-Texans. We are teasing the Bills and the Niners. I'll take the Niners plus 13 and the Bills plus 7.5. I'm teasing the Seahawks and the Patriots. I am taking the Chicago Bears plus 4.5 in the freezing cold over the Los Angeles Rams tomorrow. The Chicago Bears plus 4.5 over the Rams in the freezing cold. Call that just a hunch. Whether the Rams are the better team, I think the Rams somehow will find a way to win the game, 30-27, maybe even lower scoring because of the weather. 23-20. I think 4.5 is just a little too much. I think the weather conditions will bother the Rams. The Rams were very unimpressive down the stretch. They had to have a big fourth quarter to beat Arizona. They struggled to beat Carolina, a team that they had vengeance motivation against, and they still could barely beat them, and I don't feel Carolina was that good. Rams have not been impressive down the stretch. I do think they'll find a way to win this game, but I like the Bears with the points. We're not done here. We are also... So we have the under in the Pats-Texans. We have Chicago straight. We have Seattle Patriots in a teaser. We have the Bills and Niners in a teaser. And we are going to... All right, here's where we're going to get a little risky here. We're going to do the Rams and the Seahawks in a money line parlay. Both one's 3, one's 2. It brings it to minus 150. Rams Seattle minus 150. So you're laying 150 to win 100 in a money line parlay. A little risky, but I like the Rams to advance to the NFC Championship against the Seahawks next weekend. And I am thinking that it's going... Listen, I have no idea. I can't even tell you who's going to win the Broncos and the Bills game. I tease Buffalo because I think the game is going to be close. I really couldn't tell you, but you know what? With all those injuries, I have the Bills and Niners in a teaser, so I'm covered there. I am going to take Denver minus 1.5 straight. Now, you guys know I'm throwing a lot of these picks out there because at 73, 78, and 1, I want to finish the season like I did in college, over 500. I would never be doing this with actual money. Now, I will place a few of my favorites on DraftKings, and I will definitely do that. Let's see here. I actually also am going to take the Patriots straight. Call it a belief in Mike Vrabel. All right, so this is all our weekend stuff. We're going to come on tomorrow in the morning and we'll go over all this stuff. We'll go over the results of the Saturday games. But we've got a lot of stuff here. We've got Denver minus 1.5, Patriots minus 3, Chicago plus 4.5. We've got 3 straight bets. We've got a money line bet, Rams and Seahawks minus 150. We've got the under in the Patriots-Texans game. We have the Seahawks and the Patriots in a teaser, and we have the Bills and the Niners in a teaser. So we mix it up. We got a couple of bets where we're middling a little, taking the points, but also money line on the other side. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plays. 7 plays. We'll see how we do. Before we get out of here, I want to go over a little news. In the coaching carousel, as we know now, Mike Tomlin is now also gone. Listen, he decided to step down, but here's what happened. They went into the meetings, and of course Rodgers doesn't know what he wants to do, whether he's coming back or not. And they went into the meetings and they said, hey, well, you could coach out next year, but we're not going to give you an extension. And so Tomlin probably said, no, thank you. So he stepped down, but it was, they didn't want him back. They didn't want him back, and maybe Mike didn't want to come back either. Once you no longer have the fans behind you and they're booing you off the field like they did at the end of that Texans-Steelers game, maybe it's time to go. So Tomlin is now yet another head coaching vacancy. I hear Brian Dable is interviewing for the Titans job. We have 9 openings in the NFL in the head coaching department, and we still don't have any of these positions filled. Now, the news that broke is the Giants seemingly had a deal with John Harbaugh to be their new head coach, which I think that's a great move for the Giants. And it was pretty much a done deal. They were celebrating all day on WFAN in New York. And all of a sudden we heard that the deal is not finalized. Apparently the money is finalized, but there's some contract language that has to be sorted out. And it's not money language. It's what type of pull does Harbaugh have with personnel and player coaching decisions in alignment with the general manager. That is the language. So, we have the Dolphins looking for a head coach. The Titans looking for a head coach. The Ravens looking for a head coach. The Steelers looking for a head coach. The Browns looking for a head coach. The Raiders looking for a head coach. Who else? The Giants. And Arizona. That's 8 coaching vacancies. Did I miss any? Did I miss any? Yeah, no, that's it. We've got 8. We've got 8. So, right? Did we get that right? The Jets should be looking for a coach, but they're keeping Aaron Glenn. The Dolphins, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Browns, the Raiders, the Titans, the Giants. Oh, I'm sorry. Atlanta, that's 9. Atlanta, Arizona. That's your 9 openings. That is your 9 openings. It's funny, I'm looking back here. What I have in front of me is my predictions from the beginning of the season. I gave you all the division winners and the over-unders. We are actually going to go over that before the Super Bowl and see how I did. And we're going to go over all that. And now we did place bets on the over-unders, so we will possibly add that to our NFL totals. But we're going to do that before the Super Bowl. We're going to go back and see how I did. I know there were some I got wrong, but there was a lot I got right. Like, I picked the Jaguars to win the AFC South at the beginning of the year. I did pick the Patriots to make the playoffs. I didn't pick them to win the division. I picked Buffalo. We're going to go through all that stuff. It's fun to look back on what we did 6 months ago and the predictions we made. So, the John Harbaugh deal is not finalized yet. They're going to, of course, around here we'll hear about it immediately, but the language is not finalized on the contract. Hopefully there's not a snag that can't be resolved, because this would be a great hire for the New York Giants. This is just what they need, an established Super Bowl winning coach with a history of success. You have the quarterback in place with Jackson Dart. You've got Malik Neighbors coming back, a big-time wide receiver from injury next year. You've got a couple pieces on defense. You've got some things in place here where they're not that far off. With the right head coach and leadership, it could be a big turning point for the Giants if they get this deal done. Right before we get out of here, there's some other news. Now, in the transfer portal, as you guys know, even though as teams are readying, when they enter the college football playoffs, they're readying themselves for their games, and now there's only 2 teams left, Indiana, Miami. But this portal stuff, and obviously recruiting has ended, but the portal goes right to January 16th, where you can declare for the portal. January 16th is the deadline day, and classes start January, right after they come back from Christmas, New Year's break. So first week of January, classes start, and you've got to have your players in place because they got to start going to class. So you have to work on this, even though you're getting ready for playoff games and now a championship game for Indiana and Miami. Now, the big news was Sam Leavitt, the Arizona State quarterback who missed most of the year because of an injury, but was a big-time quarterback last year and led Arizona State to the college football playoff. Now, Sam Leavitt and the kid Horsley from Cincinnati, they were the 2 big quarterbacks. Now, Horsley went to Texas Tech because his girlfriend is there, and he got big money. I mean, Texas Tech, Texas A&M, Texas, big oil money behind them. And Sam Leavitt was choosing between Miami and LSU. Well, we found out that LSU and Lane Kiffin won out, and Leavitt is going to LSU. So what was left for the Miami Hurricanes? Were they content to go with Luke Nickel this year at quarterback, their redshirt freshman who will be playing his first year? You know they don't like Emory Williams. He's a backup, and he'll probably have to, if he ever wants to start anywhere, he'll have to transfer to a smaller school because Emory is never starting for the Miami Hurricanes. So at some point you're thinking, okay, maybe they're just going to, wait until they play the championship game and they'll worry about it later. Then you hear that they offered $6.5 million to Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson to prevent him from turning pro, going to the NFL draft. Simpson, to his credit, did not take the $6.5 million. He wants to go pro, as now he's projected as a late first round, most likely early second round draft pick. So what's left for the Miami Hurricanes? They've had a good portal so far. I mean, they got Ohio State defensive tackle Jarquez Carter. They grabbed a couple of big-time wide receivers, Cam Vaughn from West Virginia and Vandravius Jacobs from South Carolina. They grabbed a corner from BC, Omar Thornton, who was the most talented guy on their whole freaking roster because we know BC wasn't very good. So they've been very busy. Obviously, they have the 4th-rated recruiting class in the nation. So the Canes are obviously win or lose Monday night. They're not going anywhere. But what are they going to do about quarterback? So yesterday, just before the portal closed, we hear that Darian Mensah, the very talented quarterback who used to lead Tulane, was the quarterback for Duke last year and actually led the Blue Devils to 9 wins in an ACC championship game. He is a NFL talent. He is 6'3". He's got a big arm and fast legs. And it appears he has entered the portal, and he is currently in Miami right now as we speak. All the rumors are that he is set on joining the Miami Hurricanes. Now, there was a lot of outrage about this. Because even though he did enter the portal just before it closed at the end of business yesterday on the 16th, it does seem like, someone got in his ear, let's be honest. You guys know I'm a Canes fan, but we're not, we're going to call a snake a snake. Listen, you don't want to start. The NIL and the portal is kind of like NFL free agency. We know this, but it's kind of getting like the Wild Wild West. As much as I'm thrilled that Mensah joins the Hurricanes, because he could be better than Levitt or Horsley. I mean, without him, the Duke Blue Devils were probably 4-8 last year and not even playing in an ACC title game. Instead, they win that, and then they win their bowl game afterwards. They win 9 games with this kid, and he threw for 4,000 yards and 34 touchdowns to only 6 picks. This kid's a big-time talent. Needs a little refining, but he could be more talented than Levitt and Horsley. He is definitely a first-round draft pick talent. He is projected to be an NFL quarterback, and if the Canes get him, it's obviously going to be huge for them. It'll be an upgrade as to what they have this year with Carson Beck, big time. It'll be almost like you got Cam Ward again. But the way it got done, and it hasn't been announced yet, but he's in Miami now. All the scuttlebutt is that they got in his ear. They told him they were going to give him big money. Apparently, his sister is going to get a soccer scholarship to Miami as well. And, he's going to be getting paid more than the $4 million that Levitt and Horsley got. So, I think Horsley and Levitt got $4.5 million. This guy's going to get probably $6 million, and his sister's going to get a scholarship to play soccer for the U. So, that's what it's looking like. Darian Mensah will be announced as the quarterback for the Miami Hurricanes next season and joining the school right away. Again, he legally put his papers in and left Duke last night. The rumor started 24 hours prior that he had Miami on his mind. And then it happened. So the rumors are looking so far that they're true. And now he's in Miami. So, listen, this would be this kid's 3rd school in 3 years. He played his first 2 years at Duke. He played his first 2 years at Tulane, and Tulane was a 10-11 win team, I remember, when he was the quarterback. Then he made Duke respectable. He completely elevated that program. But now this will be his 3rd program. They've got to put a limit on this stuff. Kids should have to play their first 2 years at one place, and they can only transfer once, every 2 years. That would eliminate this Wild West moving back and forth, back and forth. They got to put some limitations on this. They got to put a salary cap on it, and they got to put some limitations on when you can transfer and how many times you can transfer, because it is getting a little out of hand. I almost feel guilty for being happy because Mensah will be a huge, huge get for the Miami Hurricanes. Huge. This guy is a stud. He's going to be a fucking, excuse my language, he's going to be a first-round draft pick in the NFL. He's got that kind of talent. So, it's going to be big for the U, but again, the way it happened, it just doesn't feel right. If they got in that kid's ear while he's still at school and not in the portal, not that you'll ever find out, but we can't have that. We can't have that stuff. But anyway, that's it for today, boys and girls. Enjoy the football, 4:30 and 8 o'clock. Again, we've got the Broncos -1.5, but we like it in a close game. We have the Bills and Niners in a teaser. We have the Bears +4.5. We have the under in the Patriots game tomorrow, under 40.5. We have the Seahawks and Rams in a money line parlay because I feel they'll both win. We have the Seahawks and the Patriots in a teaser. And we have the Patriots straight -3. Those are our 7 picks in the league where they play for pay. And they do it in college too. Now, all right, you guys have a great weekend. We'll be back tomorrow morning, probably around 11:30, and go over all this football madness. The snow is pouring down outside my window. Now, why anybody would live in New England? If you don't have business here or family here, you're born into this shit, I don't know why anybody would actually live here. My family's final destination is South Florida. That's where my parents had a home all their lives, and my brother lives, and we love going there. Obviously, I've grown up half my life there, and that's where the University of Miami love comes from, and you know, we also like the Panthers, and we root on the Heat, and hell, we even root for the Marlins, even though nobody really cares down in South Florida about the Marlins. But still a Yankee fan, born and raised, and an Islander fan. That's about my the only good things I like about living near New York, and being in Connecticut is that I'm, you know, about an hour from Manhattan and 75 minutes from Long Island. But I got no use for Manhattan, because you wouldn't catch me dead anymore going to Madison Square Garden like I did when I was a younger man, because I'm not paying $400 to see some regular season game where I'm sitting in the nosebleeds for $400 to see teams that never win. And I've always hated the Rangers because I'm an Islander fan, but I used to like going to Knick games. I used to go to a Knick game every week when I was younger. Nowadays, I'd have to freaking sell my kidney. But yet, the other night, I was in the club for the Islanders Devils at the beautiful UBS Arena, which is the most beautiful arena in the local area, in the tri-state area here in New York, Jersey, and Massachusetts. UBS is beautiful. $225, best seats in the house, in the club, free food, all included. You get the same thing at the Prudential Center in Jersey. What would that cost you at Madison Square Garden? Oh, I don't know, between $800 and $1,000. I'm good with the big city, Manhattan. Give me palm trees, the beach, the pool, and a national championship for Miami Monday night. But anyway, as of now, I'm stuck here watching the snow come down. You guys have a great day. Enjoy the football. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 11:30. Have a great